Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP as well as the vast majority of crypto. So let's just dive in. And let's start off with the fact that we do have a 3-day weekend here. I hope everybody has a great weekend, but also 3-day weekends are notorious for manipulative price action as well as volatility. Now, as we do look at Bitcoin and even as we do look at XRP as well as other tokens, basically we have this sideways momentum. XRP basically looks like that on the 1 month, if you will, just sideways price action. Now, usually what happens is Bitcoin is the first one to go, and then the rest of the market usually follows once we see Bitcoin dominance change quite a bit, which we did outline even in the Discord. But as we do look at Bitcoin itself, we have this sideways price action waiting for this to brew and build, and then at one point in time, pressure just gets too much, and then we get either a breakdown or a break up. Now, what I'm looking at with Bitcoin is either a price move above 30K plus, or possibly a retest of 23.5K to possibly 25K in the short term, which either way, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to buy. I'm about 60-40 right now, which I mentioned in the Discord as well. I do have 40% stable coins on the sidelines, which I'm fine if that does get sidelined. I'm not too worried about that, but I am very happy so far with the price action within this market. I'm so far pretty happy with this year alone as well with a lot of the price action in this market. So right now, we're just mainly looking at what's happening around finance, what's happening around crypto. But one thing that I seen today, which was insane, was this. Bank of America, JP Morgan, and other major banks subpoenaed over President Biden's family financial records. Now, I want to take you guys a little bit back. So, you guys remember some of the recent reports that crypto is only utilized for money laundering and criminal activity, but fiat currency? No, fiat currency never touches any of that, right? Yeah, well, here we have the president's family committing money laundering. Here we have basically laundering money. This was conversely, the report noted committee chairman James Comer's statements that the Biden family was basically laundering money. Very interesting to say the least. And again, we do see down here trying to hide information on the investigation from Democrats on the committee. So we start to see information being hidden. We start to see this investigation probably get swept under the rug as well. Most of the general public won't even know about this, if you will. But guess what? I want this to be a big mainstream thing because we get a lot of this type of stuff completely thrown out. It gets ignored. Nobody talks about it. But we do see down here that they have bank records, and the facts are not good for the Biden family. This is funny. This is comical, and things just got a little bit more interesting around what's happening within the U.S., which, again, we already know that these Democrats, especially, it doesn't even matter, right? Democrats, Republicans, they are all in the same bed. I said this time and time again on the channel as well. Like, I am not sitting here, and I'm not trying to say I'm left or right or anything like that. I don't really care, to be honest, about politics all that much, but we know that a lot of money laundering happens within the US, especially at the high tier table. A lot of people think that these elites are, they're all shiny, they're all good, they're not doing anything wrong. Well, guess what? When you actually look at it, there's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of fraud happening within the government itself. And I want you all to understand as well is that most of what we see around crypto as well with FTX and Luna and stuff like that is all inside planned. It's to create this narrative. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of money laundering within crypto is also to benefit a lot of these high tier individuals, like, for example, the Biden family or anybody else. But I thought this was pretty interesting to see, and I thought this was pretty crazy as well. But also, I do want to go over to this tweet here. So as we do see money laundering basically within our government entities, we also see an agency, the SEC, completely misread the room and do a terrible job at regulating. But also, we do see the SEC chair Gary Gensler catching a ton of heat. We do see SEC Chair Gary Gensler is a bad faith regulator. States, this is from Tom Emmer on Unchained Podcast. Listen closely to this.
I mean, let's just talk about Gary Gensler at the SEC. He's a Warren disciple. This guy, in my mind, is a bad faith regulator. He's been blindly spraying the crypto community with enforcement actions while completely missing the true bad actors. He says he's got an open door, Laura, but a company like Coinbase, right, which accessed that open door and started working with Gary Gensler's SEC. By the way, Coinbase, I would argue, is one of the most regulatory compliant crypto companies out there. Well, guess what? Gary Gensler might have an open door, but it is an enter at your own risk door, because what he does is, despite several meetings over several months, Gary Gensler's SEC refused to provide feedback on a product. It was called the Earn product that Coinbase was looking to list. And instead, after all these meetings and nothing happening, the SEC slapped Coinbase with a Wells notice regarding the very issues on which Coinbase was asking for their feedback. Clearly not the way the government should be serving Americans. And it sends a clear message, I believe, to the broader crypto community. And that directly is Gary Gensler is not regulating in good faith.
If you enjoyed this.
And yeah, I do 100% agree with this. Like, we see, like, the US is in shambles right now. But also within this, we could see the corruption. We could see the manipulation happening. This is all to tout their own nonsense, to create their own narrative to play into. And also, we did see a huge article come out, and it's called Thanks Sam, and we do see, says it perfectly. It's from Dave Weisberger over on Twitter. The war on crypto puts the US and its model of market democracy, at greater risk than ever of losing economic and technological leadership. Many take our leadership for granted. Losing it would be disastrous. And yeah, I completely agree. When we actually look at this breakdown, one, we do see regulation by retribution. Among a string of Thanks Sam moments, these past 5 months, this one takes the cake. You could argue that the crackdown against Kraken, Coinbase, Paxos, Binance, and others was driven significantly by a desire to punish Sam Bankman-Fried, the erstwhile founder of FTX, whose mind-blowingly rapid collapse in November sent shockwaves through the crypto industry. This is how one of my sources described the mindset of the Biden administration officials and of lawmakers from both political parties. You can't come into their house, slosh that kind of money around, leave politicians with egg on their faces, and not expect to pay a huge price. He was referring to the fact that before the FTX meltdown, politicians, mostly Democrats, but also some Republicans, had been beneficiaries of more than $74 million in political donations from FTX, which, by the way, again, I want you all to understand what's actually happening within this. Like, you are seeing things can completely be ignored because of greed, but also because of corruption. FTX was an inside job, in my opinion. I said it time and time again on this channel. And all the reason why a lot of these got left alone is because they knew that it was going to implode, and they could easily come in and say, this is why crypto needs to be regulated. Because again, imagine you're the traditional leaders, right? You're playing this game of Monopoly. For the longest time, you got rich and rich and rich. And all of a sudden, another player joins the game. Now, a lot of the money that you were getting rich off of is starting to go over to the other side. This player's getting rich now. And it seems as though, yeah, you're still kind of rich, but you're starting to lose money. What are you going to do? Well, say for so that other player, there's a crack or so in his technique. And you could mention it. You could say, hey, this is a big issue, but you're playing a competitive game. So why would you bring up that issue? In fact, you would let that issue get so big to the point where it implodes, and now you could utilize it for your own benefit. You could utilize it against the other player. That's exactly what they did with FTX. It's exactly what they did with Luna as well. Now, again, all of this is to play into this narrative around what's happening within the US, within the banking sector. There is a war against crypto, but mainly it's a war against, or I should say, it's a war for control, because that's what they want. They don't want to lose the power that they've held on to for decades and decades and decades. No, they want to make sure that they hold on to all integrity within the traditional financial world of monopoly, if you will. Now, also over here, we do see from John E. Deaton, what is this war costing the US? Well, we do see, you mean the United States isn't in the top 10? If the startup involves crypto and blockchain technology, would the US even make the top 50 today? How about the top 100? And here we have the 10 best countries to launch your startup. Where would you go? Look at this. Where is the US? Oh yeah, that's right. Innovation continues to get thrown outside of the US. Everything is moving outside of the US. We're seeing nations moving against the dollar. We're seeing nations now moving away from technological advancement within the US. And crypto is also moving overseas. What could possibly go wrong here? I wonder, right? Now, also, I want you guys to understand that as we do look at what's happening within the US, I think that we should all come together and rise up against this lack of regulatory action from the SEC in terms of beneficiary regulations, because again, they could be doing their job. They could be creating new frameworks that these companies could follow. It could be extremely transparent, and also there could be clarity. But what are we seeing? We're seeing the SEC know that they have this golden ticket opportunity to protect the big bankers and the banks by not giving any clarity, by not giving any transparency. So now they have this door wide open. And they're utilizing it to their benefit, like I said, around the monopoly game, right? So that now they can go after every single exchange, they can go after every single major project. This is going to get a lot worse. A lot worse. And remember, right, there's already a number of lawsuits underway regarding OCP 2.0, Operation Choke Point 2.0. The most important thing is finding plaintiffs with standing. If you are a firm that has suffered due to being unbanked and you suspect it's related, please reach out via DM. This is from Nick Harder. I think that this is huge. I think that this is great as well. I think we need to come together. We need to come together and create a massive amount of individuals that, one, we feel like we were harmed. So far, by the way, Johnny Deaton has done this. I mean, I think it's 75,000. I don't know if he actually has this over here, but I know that a lot of people were signing up for the class action lawsuit. This is Ethereum is not a security class action lawsuit, which he just recently started, but I think that there was 75,000 XRP holders that signed up for the previous class action lawsuit. Like, we need to come together because we need to fight back against what is happening, because what's happening within the US is it's ridiculous. It truly is ridiculous. And even Ryan Selkis from Azari Crypto posted this as well. Every major crypto company in the US should be ready to fund the upcoming campaign. It's going to be an all-out war the next 18 months. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a big one. I think that the next campaign could make or break crypto as well. And Crypto Airy also posted something which was the position on crypto regulation is going to make or break politicians in every election going forward. And I think that this is going to be a big one. I think that crypto has become an integral part of a lot of individuals' lives. So we want politicians that are pro-crypto. We want politicians that are going to allow crypto to thrive and be adopted within the US. So why wouldn't this make or break politicians, especially around their campaigns? I think that crypto is going to be a major opportunity for anybody, but it's only going to be a major opportunity for those that are able to participate. And it seems as though the US doesn't want the retail sector to participate unless Wall Street is the one that is allowing you to participate, which is, again, the main reason why I focus on the manipulation, the corruption, and the all-out motive around greed, control, and power within the financial system that the US and US regulators are trying to hold on to. But guess what? I strongly believe that technology will win, as it has in the past. This is basically the internet, but in a much larger form. And don't get me wrong, listen, history will rhyme. Doesn't always repeat, but it will rhyme. And I think that this is the internet 2.0. But guess what? The volume that crypto will bring is going to be much louder than the internet could ever be. I think that the disruption that crypto will have on everyday life, not only from industries and sectors, but I'm talking about everyday life, transactional life. It is going to be monstrous. And a lot of people want to say that we're too late. I do think that we're too late on Bitcoin. I think that those that were going to get rich off of Bitcoin, they already did. That's why we start to see these Bitcoin maxis trying to push it and push it and push it, because they want to get richer off of it. But guess what? They already got rich off of it. Now, money will flow into utility grade tokens. Utility grade tokens are going to be the next wave of adoption and the next wave of those that will be millionaires. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Because you definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It's just up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.